Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this. This right here is going to be a special video. We're going to do a... Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this. This right here is going to be a special bonus video for you guys. I'm going to take a look at WCW Spring Stampede 1994. Now, there's a reason for this one. I've basically got into a little bit of trouble and a couple of guys helped me out, and one of the only things I can do to repay people is say, look, if name a pay-per-view, I will review it for you. Name a show, it can be a Japanese one, a Mexican one, it can be American, anything. I'll review it for you. And this is my friend Ross Hardy chose this one. He chose this one because I asked him, tell me, why did you choose this one? He says, I chose Spring Stampede 94 because from its top to bottom, one of my favourite WCW pay-per-views ever. I wanted to pick one of the better shows for Marc to review. Plus, I enjoy seeing Marc talk about WCW shows, whether he likes them or not. So, no pressure then, eh, Ross? This is an event so wild, an ordinary ring could not hold it. That's what it says on the VHS. Anyway, it is April the 17th, 1994, and we are live indeed at the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, Illinois. 12,000 lucky fans on hand, and they're lucky because they saw two dark matches. In the first of these dark matches, some guy called Danny Bonajuice beat Christopher Knight, while in the other dark match, Hato and Pat Tanaka beat Dave and Kevin Sullivan. Lucky fuckers, eh? In our opening contest. Oh wait, fuck that. We ain't getting no opening contest. No. Gene Mean welcomes us into the show and introduces some guy called Aaron Neville. He proceeds to sing the Star Spangled Banner for reasons. I don't know why. Is this a Spring Stampede tradition or something? Or is this, I don't remember the Star Spangled Banner opening every WCW show, but it's happening on this one, so yay. Good for us, eh? Tony Schiavone and Bobby the Brain here on commentary tonight. In our opening contest, Jonny B. Bad defeating DDP in a meh opener. Wow, guys, DDP was not a good worker back at this time. Both his moves and his selling were not great in this one. Fortunately, this match only lasts 5 minutes and the crowd are hot throughout for Jonny B. Bad. Clapping along, for example, when Paige gets the dastardly chin lock. The highlight of this match is a nice pescada by Bad, and it's a great looking sunset flip off the top that gets the win for Bad at 5 minutes and 54 seconds. I expected my expectation was quite low for this one, so this match was better than I was expecting. Like I said, the crowd were hot, but Paige was not good. 1.5 stars. G-Mean then talks to Jesse Ventura. They chill the hotline together. Lord Steven Regal fought Brian Pillman to a 15-minute time limit draw in their TV title match. Regal had hit a pile driver on the outside on Pillman, so this is the big grudge match. As with all matches tonight, if there's a title match, it's Buffer who does the intros for him, not just for the main event. That's interesting. He says during his introduction that Pillman is one of the most popular wrestlers in the world. Now, this was after the Hollywood Bombs had split up, but before Pillman was brought into the Four Horsemen, so I'm not sure if that statement's entirely true. Regal has a great big bandage on his left leg, so I wonder if Pillman will target it. Love how because Regal's British, he's not introduced as being in pounds, he's been introduced as weighing in stones. That's an interesting little touch that I sometimes feel is a little bit unnecessary. Like, why are you doing that? He's 18 stone, which, if you're wondering, is 252 pounds. I can answer my own question straight away. Pillman doesn't bother working the leg, because why would he? Because WCW! Hey, how's that on sound? Everything Regal does here is so damn nice and so smooth. He counters a crossbody attempt into a pretty Northern Light suplex, for example. The crowd are hot for Pillman, so I guess that Buffer was right, but well, he doesn't really seem to get a lot of offense in on this one. He gets a quick roll up where he can, but for the most part in this one, it's Regal who's on the offense. He does submission moves, and lots of them. So, a standing body vice, or a perfectly applied STF, or a seated abdominal stretch, or a bow and arrow lock. It's all good. In fact, if they'd thrown in the Texas Cloverleaf as well, it would be just a plethora of my favourite submission moves all in one match. Pillman gets a few drop kicks and the crowd goes berserk, but they end up on the outside and the time expires, meaning the match ends in a draw, which is shit. Do not like that at all. The mood, right? The whatever. The mood is summed up perfectly. I don't, you know, if this wasn't a plan, well, it mustn't have been a plan. It can't have been. But as the time limit draw goes, right, some bloke in the crowd holds up a sign that says, "Who booked that?" Like, bloody hell, that's perfectly adequate. That explains how I feel at this moment. Why would they book that finish? Right, I've written here, I enjoyed this match, and I've written ... Actually, no, I didn't enjoy the match. I enjoyed Regal. He was fucking great here, but I'm just not sure why the match was booked, because it looked like a 15-minute squash. Pillman hardly got any offense in at all. And it's not like this is early in Pillman's career where they need to show off how tough and resilient he is. No, it's a couple of years in, so I just don't get it. Odd booking, poor finish, but I do enjoy it. In the back, Gene Mean talks to Colonel Parker, the man who once called Jeff Jarrett the world's greatest lover, because he knows. Sorry, that's a straight OSW ripoff. I do apologise. Tonight, Muta is going to beat Steve Austin, and Bunkhouse Buck is going to beat Dustin Rhodes. And then Buck tells us that he hasn't washed for weeks to make sure that he stinks for the Bunkhouse match. I have no idea what that means. I don't understand why smelling would be an advantage in a match like that. But it is, for reasons. Again, I'm sorry, but the reasons. The Nasty Boys, Jerry Sags and that other one, Knobs and Sags, defeat Christopher Jack. Ah, yes, Cactus Jack. I don't know. They're not even similar in any way. The Nasty Boys defeating Cactus Jack and Maxx Payne in a good Chicago street fight to retain the tag team titles. Now, I've got written on the top of my notes here, quite the feeling of dread going to this one, as I've so little time for the Nasty Boys. Oh, and also, big boos because the champs come out first. This is just a few weeks after Cactus Jack had lost an ear in a match with Vader, where he used to do a spot where he would go over the top ropes and get his head stuck in between the first and second ropes, so the top and middle ropes. And he would squeeze his way out, yada yada yada. On this night in Germany, the ropes were too tight, and he realised that if he didn't pull himself out immediately, he was going to die. So he pulled himself out, but it meant losing an ear. That's the short version of a longer story. I'm sure you all know the story of that one anyway. Anyway, man, this match is fecking brutal. Weapon shots all over the shop, right? And all of them are so bloody stiff. Brawling on the outside, unprotected chair shots. The works, you know, which of course it seems very tame to someone like me who's watching in 2015. But in 1994, this was fresh, and this was innovative, and this was dangerous, and this was something that you've just not seen before, you know? One tiny problem is that it's quite hard to follow, because you essentially got two brawls going on, but then we get double vision, baby, which I'm very pleased about. Oh yeah. Payne puts one of the Nasty Boys, can't remember which one it was, through a conveniently placed merchandise stand near the entrance. I bet that merchandise stand's done a roaring trade before that. Oh yes. Sags smashes a table into Cactus Jack's face. A full-on table. Bash. Into your face. Which is good. They try a spot on the entrance ramp where they set up a table and they look like they're going to do a storm pile driver through the table, but the table collapses in on them. Could have been a great little spot, but it doesn't. They both go through. The fans, though, by this point, are going absolutely fucking nuts. And Tony and Bobby are selling it in such a way. If you go back and watch hardcore matches from 2000, for example, in WCW, the announcers treat them like they're a fucking joke. And it's really like, oh, come on. I understand that hardcore wrestling isn't for everyone, but at least try. Yeah, here they're selling it like this is deadly serious. And like this is, yeah, they're almost like it's too much. This is way too much, you guys. Anyway. Yeah, Tony and Bobby help out with some wonderful comments. Michael Jordan, do you think Michael Jordan wants to be a wrestler? Says Bobby Heenan. Tony tells us not to try this at home. Now, I routinely hit people with tables while I'm out and about, which is probably why I haven't got many friends, isn't it? Cactus takes a bump, right? Takes a back bump off the entrance ramp, back first, onto the steel concrete, right? And if that's not bad enough, Sags then gets a shovel, right? And I think Cactus Jack may have knocked himself out with the back bump onto the steel concrete, because Sags whacks him in the face with the shovel, and Cactus makes absolutely no attempt to get his hands up or block it or turn his head or anything. Shovel face, and that's what gets the win. I get this one right. It only lasts 8 minutes 54 seconds. It's a 9-minute match, but it's so brutal. Honestly, this match genuinely stands out as god damn. It's tricky to rate because it's so very stiff. And a jaded old fan like me, there's nothing in this we've not seen before apart from that shovel shot at the end, which is actually, we've seen shovel shots, haven't we? Undertaker and Austin did shovel shots. But through 1994 eyes, this is fucking amazing. I'm going to go 3.5 stars, I think. it is that good, seriously, and it's probably the best Nasty Boys match I've ever seen. My boy Scott Keith, after I finished writing my notes, I went back and was like, I wonder what Scott Keith gave this one, because he's, the font of all noise, isn't he? He gave it 4 3/4 stars, believe it or not. It's that good. Go watch this one. Tricky to rate, like I say though. In the back, Jesse Ventura is with Jonny B. Bad, and he wants to face the winner of the next match. The next match, of course, is Steve Austin, stunning Steve Austin, of course, defeating the great Muta in an alright match to retain the US title. A fan in the audience has a KFC bucket, which is, I guess, is relevant to Carnell Parker. On paper, this should be great, shouldn't it? Muta had a run, of course, in WCW in the late 80s, 1989, I think it was. Austin beat Dustin Rhodes to win the United States Championship at Starrcade. Muta out first, so that's all good. After how up for it the crowd had been in the previous match, they didn't seem to care about this one. So the match is technically sound, it has some lovely moves in it. There's a sweet brainbuster by Muta, for example, but the rest of the match seems to be, well, rest holds. Austin controls with help from Parker until Muta can take control with a stun gun, which gets a monster pop from the crowd, and a handspring elbow. He has a sweet looking Rana, but then chucks Austin over the top rope. And of course, this is 1994 WCW, where if you chuck someone over the top rope, that's a disqualification. So the match ends in a fucking DQ at fucking 16 minutes and 20 seconds. I had forgotten about this rule, and to be honest, I thought by now this rule had gone. 1994. I thought this was like 1992 sort of rule, something like that. The crowd, quite rightly, boo the shit out of them, but soon pop when Muta dives off the top rope onto the two heels on the outside. Boring match, in my opinion. It's technically sound, don't get me wrong, it just doesn't do anything for me. With a fucking stupid finish. Genuine stupid finish. The best part of this match was Bobby Heenan on commentary. He says that it was actually him who sang the Star Spangled Banner at the start before the show, and that Aaron Neville was just lip syncing along to what Bobby was singing. But then Neville comes out and sits down next to Heenan, and the way that Bobby Heenan turns on the charm is just golden. It's absolutely brilliant. In the back, Dustin Runnels is with Jesse Ventura. We see Bunkhouse Buck attacking Rhodes, but then Rhodes cuts a promo about absolutely nothing. I have no idea what he's trying to say. Next, Sting defeating Rick Rude in a match to win the WCW International World Heavyweight Championship. The what? The what title? I hear you cry. I have no idea. Now, as you guys know, if you've been watching my WCW reviews for quite some time, especially my early 90s ones, when I'm stumped and have no clue what's going on, I get in touch with my man Joey and ask him what the fuck insert thing is here. So Joey, what the fuck is the International World Heavyweight Championship?
Yo Mark, Joey V here, and this time straight from the Department of Redundancy Department. It's the World Heavyweight Championship as recognized by WCW International. Blah. Basically, the story behind this is kind of long and convoluted and everything, so I'm going to give you the super condensed version. Everyone knows that Ted Turner had bought WCW in 1988 from Jim Crockett Promotions, and it was a big thing, whatever. In 1991, Ric Flair was the World Heavyweight Champion. He'd won it from Sting at a house show or something like that. And he was subsequently fired by Jim Herd from WCW, taking the big gold belt that he had owned with him. Everyone knows that story. So WCW had to create a new World Championship belt, which they did. It was the smaller one that Lex Luger ended up winning at the Great American Bash 91. See Marc's review on that show for that information. So now WCW has their World Heavyweight Champion. Well, at some point, WCW and Ted Turner ends up gaining possession of the big gold belt back from Ric Flair. I'm not sure how. I think it's because Ric Flair had already signed with WCW. This is like late 92. He'd already either re-signed with WCW or had committed to re-signing with WCW. So they got the big gold belt back. At this point, the NWA isn't really a factor in WCW, but for some reason, I don't know if they were just sort of hanging around or whatever, WCW had the NWA title. They had the actual physical belt, so I guess they decided, well, why not use it? So now you have the NWA World Champion and you have the WCW World Champion, both competing in the same thing. The NWA, of course, was the governing body that was, you know, the 9 guys. Vince Sr. was part of it, and everything like that. So there's 2 world champions now. At some time in 1993, in the summer or the early fall, see, WCW used to do their TV tapings at the Disney MGM studios here in Florida. And what they had done is they used to tape a couple of episodes in a row and then leave them in the can and then broadcast them out. Somehow or another, it had either been said, leaked, or whatever. Somehow it got out that the NWA Championship was changing hands, and they had either mentioned it on their tape show or it happened on their tape show. I don't think it happened on their tape show. I can't really remember, but somehow it gotten out. And the NWA basically said, well, if you guys can't keep a lid on things, then, you know, we're not going to be affiliated with you, and we're not going to, you know, have our championship, whatever. So they fuck off. WCW and Ted Turner actually owned the physical big gold belt, which I think Rick Rude had at the time. So WCW is stuck. Now they have 2 champions, one with a title and physical belt, and one with a physical belt with no title. So eventually what they had to do was they had to get into a room and say, what are we going to do? They created this fictional subsidiary called WCW International, and they were going to recognize whoever held the big gold belt as their world champion. That's basically how it ended up. It only lasted for about a year, with Sting losing a unification match to Ric Flair at a Clash of Champions in 1994, and Ric Flair then ultimately held both titles, but it became a unified title, and they used the big gold belt, which I didn't think they should have. They used the big gold belt as their world title from that point forward. So anyway, that's a super condensed history, a super condensed little thing about the WCW International title. I hope this helps out. I hope this helps your review. That's it. That's all I got from the road, from the Department of Redundancy Department, Coal Miner's Glove. Later.
Thank you, Jerry. That's why you're my guy, because of course I didn't know any of that. That's all new to me. So watching that was very, very informative. Thank you very much. So this match is for that championship. Another match that on paper, after Muta versus Austin, that will be good. Sting's out first, and that's more like it, isn't it? Tony says, as Sting's making his entrance, Sting is here! It's like, yes! Yes, I can see him, he's right there. Fuck me, oh my god, I'd forgotten this, but oh my god, right, listen to me guys, I need you to do me something here. This is important, right? If you've got any faith in my opinions whatsoever, I need you to do something in a minute, right? What I need you to do, I need you to pause this video. I need you to open a new browser window, alright? I need you to go onto YouTube and type in the words Rick Rude 6th WCW theme. Listen to the whole thing and then come back to me. Trust me, if you've if you're like, Marc P's vids are alright, good, great, amazing, the best. Any of those, anything like that, right? Or, yeah, Marc's alright, anything like that. Just do me that, because trust me, this is perhaps one of the best entrance musics I've ever heard. It is fucking great. Just listen to the lyrics and it's like, bliss. Go on, piss off, go and do it. Oh my god, it's wonderful. You got it yet? Rude gets on the mic, but Harley Race is here, issuing a challenge to the winner of the match on behalf of Vader. And then Nick Bonkwinkle joins us. He's the commissioner of WCW. Sting batters Rude in the opening moments, launching him with 2 huge back body drops. Rick Rude takes control, working the neck with a backdrop and a long chin lock. When Sting makes his comeback, the place goes bonkers. But soon the referee is not only bumped, he gets like a bit of a shove, but he hits a Stinger splash as well. Scorpion Deathlock, but there's no referee. Rhodes comes back out, but has Vader with him. Sting gets rid of them, but allows Rude to clip the knees and regain control. Well, yeah, you think he gains control, but you get the feeling that either Vader or Rude really, really fucked up their timing here, because it looks like Rude's trying to get Sting into the Rude Awakening position, but it takes him ages. And I'm not talking like, it takes him like 10 seconds to turn around. It takes him about a minute to get him in position. Race comes in with a chair, and like I say, as he's finally got him in position for the Rude Awakening, Race goes to swing at Sting. Sting ducks, Rude takes the chair shot, Sting covers, 1, 2, 3, 12 minutes, 50 seconds, and we've got a new champion! The match is okay. It's genuinely nothing special though. It's literally the high point of this match for me was Rude's entrance. It was just like, oh, this is golden. That music is fucking bliss. Yeah, no idea why Bockwinkel came out to watch this one other than because he wanted to, I suppose. It's the best I can do, I'm afraid. Yeah, it's another match, the second match on this show, that on paper you're like, oh yeah, because of course when I got sent this way, when I said, whatever pay-per-view you want, I'll do it. Spring Stampede 94, looking at the card, like, oh, alright, yeah, there's 2 matches there straight away that I want to see. 3 matches if you include the main events. Like, oh yeah, and this is the second one of those 3 that doesn't quite do it for me. It's not as good as I think it should have been. Okay. Fun fact between the two of them, that's not a fun fact I suppose, but a fact between them, the rematch that happened between these two is Rhodes' last WCW match, and I think it's Rhodes' last ever match, ever, as well. Bunkhouse Buck defeating Dusty Rhodes in a Bunkhouse match. This is a decent little brawl that I think would have been so much better if the tag team title match hadn't happened earlier on. What I mean by that is that there's brawling in it, lots of it. They're both in the ring and on the outside. There's weapons aplenty. Hell, both men get busted open, which I think is quite rare for a WCW pay-per-view at this time. It just doesn't have the impact that it would have had if the tag team title match had happened in this. If they basically should have switched the matches around, because that match is, oh mate, it is so brutal. And this one you start going, yeah, you don't actually give a shit. There's the truth. I mean, it doesn't help the fact that I've got no interest in Dustin Rhodes. I mean, Dustin Rhodes was an alright worker this time, but Bunkhouse Buck, come on, I don't care. I don't care about Jimmy Goldman the slightest. And it's one of those, yeah. And you know, the big selling point of the match is that he smells. Great, well done. Quite a hot for Dustin though, that's something, and the pop he gets when he starts whooping Cornell Parker's ass is something else, but it's Buck who wins the match after using brass knucks at an eye-wateringly long 14 minutes and 11 seconds. Okay stuff, just not as good as the other hardcore match. In the back, Jesse Ventura is with Rick Rude, who's a very vexed man and has to be held back from attacking Vader. Second, in our semi-main event, it's Vader defeating the Boss in an okay match. I know what you're thinking, who the fuck is the Boss? Well, let me tell you something. The Boss is Ray Traylor, aka Big Bob Rogers, aka the Big Boss Man. He left the WWF in 1993. In fact, if I remember rightly, his final WWF appearance was at the Royal Rumble 1993, and after wrestling in Japan for a year or so, he's wound up in WCW. These two have been feuding for a couple of months, and Vader pisses me off by not having his epic helmet when he makes his way to the ring. Also, when he gets in the ring, he takes his mask off, and you're just like, why does he do that? That's strange. Lots of brawling, to the point where Heenan quips, why does WCW even bother setting up a ring? Scary moment in this one as Vader back body drops Boss over the ropes, right? If Boss hadn't grabbed hold of the top rope as he was coming down, he probably would have died, because he would have come down on the top of his fucking head. Oh, and the referee doesn't see it, so it's not a disqualification. That rule is so ass backwards, it's not even funny. Boss counters the Vader bomb and dumps Vader on his left shoulder in a nasty move. Don't like that at all. He makes up for it though with a fucking super DDT off Bret's rope. Well done, Boss Man. And it's an indie cross body. Couldn't believe it. When he tries a second one, Vader counters it into a power slam, then hits a Vader bomb for 2, and it's the Vader Assault that gets the win at 9 minutes and 2 seconds. Bossman then goes absolutely fucking nuts on the nightstick, on the 2 heels, Vader and his manager Race. Match was stiff, as you would expect from a Vader match, but it just, you know, I mean, Vader got his eye busted open, it was that stiff. It was okay for what it was, is what I'll say. It's nothing amazing, and, you know, 2.5 stars means it's as good as Muta vs Austin was, so that was, you know, something. G-Mean shows the hotline, some more, and then in the back, Ventura is with the Boss and Nick Bockwinkel, who must have sprinted to the back or something. Nick strips the Boss of his name because of his use of the nightstick. Says, you know, you're a lawman, and doing what you've just done is not you know, becoming of a man like you, so you're not the Boss anymore. While this is straight up bollocks and stupid, but at the same time, it's because the WWF had threatened a lawsuit, basically saying, look, he's just the Big Boss Man. He's just the Big Boss Man. You can't be doing that. You can't use our character. The Boss would begin to use a name called the Guardian Angel, who, according to Wikipedia, a site that Lord knows has never lied to me yet, are a group of volunteer, unarmed citizen crime patrollers. Which is nice. I've never heard of the Guardian Angel, so yay. In our main event, Ric Flair fighting... Ric Flair fought Rickie Steamboat to a draw in our main event. Really not a fan of the WCW. Shut up, Marc, you're an idiot. God, my vids are shit. Really not a fan of the WCW Championship at this time, much for the big gold belt. What can we say about this rivalry? These two had some truly amazing matches. They've been having truly amazing matches for decades at this point. Their matches in '89, for example, are just amazing. I promise you I will review them one of these days. Flair is babyface here, so we have an interesting dynamic of face versus face. Heenan says that the people of Chicago would boo the Easter Bunny because there've been a smattering of boos for each man when they made their way to the ring. Technical wrestling. I know, it's shocking, I know. It's lovely stuff though, at least to a stiff chop. I'll go through this one for you. It led to a stiff chop from Steamboat. Flair bails for a moment when he gets inside. They exchange chops, I know. Steamboat counters an atomic drop into a headlock takedown and works the head with headlocks and lovely head scissors. He skins the cat while Flair tries to chuck him over the ropes and gets 2 off a roll up. Back to the head with many headlocks. Flair gains control with chops, covers, and well, more chops to be honest. Flair charges at Steamboat and hits a crossbody, and they both go over the ropes, which is not a disqualification for either of them. God damn, that rule is fucking stupid. Flair wants a power driver on the outside, but Steamboat counters. When he charges at Flair, he's launched over the guardrail. Inside, Flair goes up top and gets superplexed off, surprisingly. We get the old corner turnbuckle spot. Steamboat with a chop off the top rope, and at the 20-minute mark, Flair is begging for the first time. Now, as a babyface, you wouldn't expect that one, would you? He hits 10 punches and a boatload of chops, resulting in a fair flop. Steamboat gets the figure 4. Flair pokes the eye to break it. He wants a suplex, but the knee gives out. Oh, wonderful. So Steamboat can get 2. Flair gets a headlock takedown and cover, but Steamboat powers out of it, backslides, and that gets 2. Another cradle also gets 2. 25 minutes in, Steamboat counters a suplex attempt on the ramp, and we go outside. Another chop, this one off the apron, but this time Flair gets a 4, and we get some more chops. Back inside, Steamboat gets a crossbody called There It Is. It's his fucking finishing move. Tony calls it There It Is! No! He only gets 2. Flair goes up top, selling legs, he goes up, we like that one. He's launched off, obviously, because that's what happens when Flair goes up top. Steamboat tries a crossbody again, but this time misses, and Steamboat lands hard on the leg, and Flair, being Flair, instantly tries the figure 4. Steamboat holds Flair's leg up to counter that one. I love that one. Flair gets the figure 4 and eventually, but Steamboat gets to the ropes. As soon as he stands up, Flair attacks the leg again. He wants the figure 4, but Steamboat cradles for 2. Backside also gets 2. They go up top where Steamboat gets another suplex. He can't cover straight away, so when he does eventually cover that, only gets 2. Steamboat puts on a double chicken wing. An interesting little throwback for this one, because that's the move that won Steamboat the championship back at Clash of Champions 6. Oh yeah, lovely. But they fall backwards. They both fall backwards, and it means that basically Flair's and Steamboat's shoulders are down. Both the referee counts the shoulders down 1, 2, 3. Now, of course, that means it's a fucking draw. And there's Bonkwinkle to say, look, when it goes to a draw, the champion retains. So Flair retains the belt. I love technical wrestling. Sorry, this one lasted 32 minutes. It was, yeah, nice, long, decent match. I love technical wrestling, as you guys know, and this match just didn't really do it for me because there was no real story other than lots and god damn it, lots of chops. Oh, fucking scary amount of chops actually. Yeah, maybe my hopes were a little bit too high for this one, but it just didn't live up to the expectations. So 3 matches on this show didn't live up to my expectations, because maybe all 3 of them, my expectation was just way too high. These two would face off again on April the 23rd, where Flair, basically, Bonkwinkle suspended the championship. You know, he declared the championship vacant because both the shoulders went down. It's one of those, that doesn't really make sense. Yeah, but they would fight again a few weeks later, where Flair would get the championship back. One last match happened between these two in July, when Steve Austin interfered. Steamboat would suffer a serious back injury in August of 1994 and would become from the company and from wrestling in general not long after that. There is nothing bad on this show at all. There's a couple of meh matches, but there's nothing bad. I highly recommend watching this, if nothing else, because I think 2 months later, by Bash at the Beach, Hulk Hogan was there, and of course the whole company dynamic changed after that. So it's one of the last proper WCW shows that were before Hulk Hogan era came in. That said, there's nothing on here other than the tag team title match that, in my opinion, is must see. And the 3 matches, like, as I've said a couple of times on this vid already, the 3 matches that I went into really looking forward to, all 3 of them were not as good. While they were entertaining in places, and you know, the main event was all right and all that, they weren't as good as I was hoping that they would be. All right, how does that one sound, ladies and gentlemen? I hope that was all right for you guys. I think one of the things disappointing, the main event if you want to see a Steamboat versus Flair match, this is not the one to watch, is what I'll say. It's still decent, it's just not. If you want to see, if one of these people wants to see all of the Steamboat versus Flair matches, yeah, make sure you see this one. It's not bad, trust me, it's not bad. There's nothing botched in it, and it's not boring. It's a 3-star match, for goodness sake. It's just not great. Okay, Ross, I hope that was all right for you. I would like to come back to WCW 94, especially because of, like I said a moment ago, because by Bash at the Beach Hogan's there. So yeah, that'd be an interesting one to do. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you thought what you thought down below. Of course, the show is on the WWE Network, so if you want to go and watch that and then come back and review them and see what I thought, do that as well. Follow me on Twitter, check me out on Facebook, and all that jazz. My next video will be on Sunday, where I'm going to do a Future Shock Slam review, so get those thumbs down ready in advance. Okay, thank you so much for watching. As always, I've been Marc P. Take it easy, guys.